I'm making a change. For 3 years, I have consistently fed my business brain, but not my artist brain. That changes today. There were a series of events that led me here, and I won't go too far into detail, but one of the biggest things was I kept having this itch of just, I want to make music. I just want to make music just to make music. And a lot of it has come down from lack of scheduling, lack of priority. But I really just miss making music. I'm very grateful to be able to make music for a living. But being a service provider and being an artist are two different identities that are very hard to intertwine. When I say I miss making music, I don't mean I just miss doing it. I mean, I miss fully embodying a creative identity. I miss making music when it was just processing my life, when it was not something that I had to monetize. And I'm very grateful for the skills that I've learned. I am extremely grateful for the success I've had, for the clients I've worked with, for the experiences I've had, for everything that I've learned and everything that this business has afforded me to be able to do. And I'm not, giving up on my business. That's not at all what I'm doing here. But I am making a pivot to being more creative focused and a little less business focused. And I think that is going to come across, if my clients are watching this or future clients are watching this, I think that is going to come across in the way that I communicate with you, in the way that I serve you as well, and the music that we make and the revisions that we have. Wow, I'm going to be really honest. Me not even making one beat in a week that's not specifically for a client is honestly inauthentic. I think I have let myself down and almost let my clients down in a way, and as a byproduct of that, because I haven't made music for myself. I haven't improved my skills. I'm a better producer when it comes to, taking a vision and making it into a full piece of work. I'm a better engineer, way better engineer than I was 3 years ago before I started this business. But a lot of the musicianship skills that I once had, I have lost. And I'm not saying lost like I can never get them back. I do understand that I can. But I have regressed in a way. And when it comes to, playing guitar, playing piano, these guitars, they sit on my walls, but they just collect dust. And it's really important for me to be transparent about this, because this journey that I'm on and this small pivot that I'm making is just as important to the artists that I work with as much as it's important to me. Just to go back to my notes a little bit here so I don't go too far off track. Yeah, I haven't fed my creative self, but I also, I started to forget a bit about why I started this business. And I think I'm in a completely different place mentally and physically than I once was. When I started the business, I think a lot of it was out of desperation of proving other people wrong, proving that I could make money as a musician, that I've gone farther away from my initial intention, which was be an artist and producer and be the best that you can be and be great at what you do. In order for me to start to really feel confident and serve my clients at a higher level than I ever have before, I need to find my sound again as an artist, as a producer, and I also need to experiment more than I ever have before. So this is really exciting for me because I'm going through this whole journey, and that's my next point to talk about is this book called The Artist's Way. I am currently on week 1 of my journey following this book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I bought it and it's been sitting on my shelf for about 8 months now, so it's time to crack it open. And so this week is my first week going through it. I've been doing my morning pages. I've been creating more. I've been intentionally creating more, but also studying music more, listening to music for fun like I once did. I've also been I also planned out my artist date for this week, which is going to be going to the music store by my house that I used to go to as a kid. I'm looking for 2 things, but I also just want to explore, test it out, try, different things, look at instruments, the way I once did with that sort of, oh, I wish I could play that. And this like admiration and longing for being a true musician, because I think I'm a great producer, but I think being a beat maker and being an engineer and a beat maker is very different than being a musician. And I know that's controversial, but I truly believe that if you can play real instruments, if you can come up with a chord progression yourself, if you can convey something so much deeper than just a traditional beat maker. And that comes down to every instrument. That includes your drums. That includes, piano and guitar, and I used to play the trumpet, like things that I used to be able to do with these instruments that I can no longer do. Like I want to get that back. And so part of me reading this book and going through this process is getting back into the daily flow of creating. And so right now, the first 2 hours of my day, every day, is just open creation time. But also just for me, it's coming back to who I truly am, less than just being somebody that I felt like I was supposed to be. That's the core of it. So going how this amounts into my artist career. My goal for this year, so just for a little context, in 2023, I don't know how many songs I released, but they were shit quality songs. But I was writing way more frequently. In 2022, I was working on an album that never got finished. In 2023, I think I released 12 songs in the first 3 months, and I stopped dropping music and I pivoted to being a producer. In 2024, I released 0 songs. That was actually also the hardest year of my life. So it's very interesting to see how that relates. And 2025, I only released 4 songs. And when I initially went back to releasing music, I intended on releasing 8 songs in that year. So I only really hit 50% of my goal, if that. So this year, I'm shooting for 10 songs. 8 is bare minimum. I'll be okay with myself, I guess. Bare minimum is 8. I will do 8 at all costs. 10 is, on the upper end of, if I can, I will do 10. So 8 to 10 is the stretch goal. 8 is the I'll hit this and I'll be happy with myself goal. So much of this is going to be finding my sound again as an artist. It's also going to be practicing my production skills, my vocal production, working on my voice, my songwriting. I also want to get back, like I said, into playing guitar. There's so many things I want to do, and I know I'm taking it. I'm saying a lot right now, but I am just doing it one day at a time. I'm going to be documenting this journey of reigniting my creative flame heavily on Instagram and YouTube. So if you want to be a part of it, hit subscribe, and there will also be a link in the description to get first access to the first song I finish.